Hello, hello, hello. Okay, are you ready for this? Today, I am diving deep. You are going to dive deep into reality of my life right now because I'm so happy to be here sharing this with you because I think it's important that we all start to understand what it is that we're tolerating. What is it exactly that you're tolerating in life? Because I've drawn some conclusions that the things I've been tolerating, things I tolerated in my past, things that I've tolerated up to this moment, are actually sending out messages to the universe, to whoever, the higher power, that I want more of that. Yep, I'm willing to tolerate that. Yeah, this is aligned to me. Give me more. How messed up is that? We're tolerating something. Tolerating. It's not a good thing. We don't want to be, certain things we have to tolerate, of course, but today we're going to unpack some of this because I've been feeling like there are things that I was tolerating previously that I no longer will tolerate, and I put my foot down. And we're going to dive into that together. So buckle up, baby, because we are going to be talking in a bit about my dating life. We're going to be talking about my dating life because I am single. I am online dating, and it's delivering a lot of great things in some ways, and in others, it is testing me. The universe is testing me. She is like, what will you tolerate, girl? What are you willing to tolerate? And this is why I'm here talking about this today. So let's roll this back. Think for a moment. What are some things that you might be tolerating in your life? Think about this. Is there anything in your life, any time in your life here that you felt that you've been disrespected? Maybe you're allowing your situation, your circumstance to dim your light. Maybe you're allowing it to really quiet your voice. Maybe you simply feel like you can't have a voice and you're in that space every single day and feel forced to tolerate that. There could be like a mismatch of energy. So maybe you feel in a certain situation, you're giving more energy than you're actually getting back. And there's a mismatch there. There's, a mismatch of that energy exchange that I spoke about in a previous podcast. You might feel that you've got a bad boss or a bad job right now. Something in your life is bad. And you feel like you have to tolerate that. Like it's just, it is what it is, maybe. It is what it is. Maybe you've said that. Maybe you think there's no other way. And something else, maybe, you're surrounded by people that don't actually give you the support that you need. Maybe you're surrounded by some people that are bringing you down. That could be in your direct friend circle. That could be in your family, in your relationships. So many things. We often just feel like if you've been in a situation for quite some time where you are actually tolerating a lot of bullshit, you're tolerating a lot of things that just don't align to you, but we're tolerating it because you might feel like there's no other way. And let me tell you, there is. There absolutely is. And maybe this is the first episode you're listening to. So welcome. This is your first episode. Thank you for being here. I'm so happy that you're listening in right now. If this isn't your first episode, well, hey, you know what I'm all about. I'm all about taking action, taking back control. This is your life. You choose what you're willing to tolerate and what you're not willing to tolerate. So let's get into this a little bit more. I'm going to tell you about my dating life. Okay, let's go. Because you know what? I was chatting about this. You hear me a lot talk about Candace. Candace and I, man, what would I do without her? Every time we're sending voice notes, I'm literally like, this is a podcast episode. She's like, this is an episode. You need to talk about this. So when it comes to dating, I've actually come up with something a little bit new. So I've come up with what I call my zero tolerance policy. Zero fucking tolerance for bullshit. Zero. Absolute zero. Now, I was not always like this. Definitely not. In the last few years, prior to my most recent relationship, I've been online dating for a long time. Like, I met 2 partners on there, right? So it takes a lot of trial and error when you are online dating. If you're online dating right now, you feel me. Now, I approached online dating in the last month with a very positive outlook. And I did this when I met my last relationship as well, a year ago. I approached it with a very positive mindset. In my head, I was like, I know that if I'm on here, I feel like I'm a catch. I feel like I've got a lot of amazing things to give to someone. I don't even feel it. I know it. So I knew if I was on there, then someone like me would be on there. Wow. Well, yeah, for sure. There are people like me on there. Coming across them, meeting them, matching with them is the next step. But here's the thing. As I'm back online dating in this last month, I really had to give some things some serious thought. So, you go back online, you're swiping a little bit, you're getting some matches, you're having these conversations, and certain things start happening. Firstly, people don't respond in timely manners. People leave shit unread. You exchange numbers, you move to WhatsApp, you move to whatever. People just are not communicative. Not interested. Sorry, don't have time for that shit. I'm a very responsive person. I understand that these people don't know me. They don't know yet that they should be hopefully responding to me, and I only want them to do that if they want to. But honestly, think about this for a minute. Even if you're in a relationship right now, think about your communication style. What is your communication style? And how does the other person's align to that? Has there been times when you have been left, they just leave your message unread, or they don't respond to your text for 24 hours, and then they respond to you and you respond right back in a second, and then they take whenever they want to respond, and then you respond back in a second? Yeah. Nope, doesn't fly with me. How about, along the lines of this, when someone only makes the effort when they want to? Now, I get it. We all have our own schedule. Like, I completely get that. It's very evident to me when there's this mismatch, this like, we're not aligned when it comes to the amount of energy they want to put into something versus what I'm willing to put in this moment. Not following through on plans. Canceling plans. Setting up an initial chat. Okay, there's like a screening process that I have right now that is real. Like, I'm not going to waste my time meeting up with someone when I haven't even had a phone chat with them. So, but then these individuals, they're saying, okay, let's have a chat at this date and this time. It doesn't happen. And then they write me later as if it wasn't even anything. And I'm like, bitch, pardon my French, you just wasted my time. Like, no, I am not the time police, but I value time so much. I will never waste your time, ever, ever. So I don't like my time wasted. Also, just being inconsiderate. Like, for example, we've all been ghosted. We've all, maybe you haven't, and lucky you, but anyone, that has, you feel me, you've been ghosted, or just people not being decent human beings. And the messed up thing is certain individuals might actually ghost you and then months later come back like, hey babe, what's up? Like nothing happened. And honestly, but here's the thing. Sadly, a lot of us tolerate this shit. Who listening right now? Think about this. Maybe you listening right now. Have you, maybe had someone that you may have had a relationship with in the past? Maybe it was serious, maybe it wasn't. And that person just lingers. Every now and then they send you a message, checking in, seeing what's up. They want to maybe get together or whatnot. Maybe not even get together, to be honest. Who knows? And, for you, and in my specific case, I want a relationship. I want to spend time with someone. I want to create experiences and memories with someone. I'm not in a rush by any means because I want to make sure my time and energy is going into individuals that are best suited to me right now, that are best suited to what I want. But what I started to notice is this BS that I was tolerating. All these things I just listed were happening to me. And here I was. Oh, well, this guy's cute. Like, oh, it's okay. All right, let's schedule a new call. Oh, no worries. You can't meet up anymore. Okay, let's get together another time. I'm like doing these gymnastics, bending over backwards to accommodate these people. And it is just ridiculous because I should not be tolerating these things because these are not things that I'm giving back. I'm not acting this way. And what was happening? I just kept getting more and more and more of the same BS until I decided something had to change. Until things started to happen this last dating round in the last month and a half or so, things started to happen. And I was like, oh, hell no. No. And I really figured out what it was, what my worth was. I really identified the shit I will not tolerate. And when that came up, I made sure to clearly communicate that I do not tolerate it. Now, I know some of my single girlfriends. So they were over one day and they were reading messages that I shared to someone that was basically me being like, yo, bro, you want to date someone, that is like me, what, that's got their shit together, that is a decent human being, that is, all the things that I bring to a relationship. Like, you want to date a real fucking grown ass woman? This shit ain't gonna fly. And when I'm, let me think about, I'm trying to think about the best way to say this, setting someone straight, I'd say more so educating and informing someone about what I'm willing and not willing to tolerate. I'm truly sending a direct message directly to the universe, higher power, whoever. The universe is what I say. Sending a DM straight to her saying, this is not a match to me. Moving on. And the more I express the things that I would not tolerate, and the more I also stood by that. It's one thing to say, you could complain to your girlfriends, oh my God, this is so annoying. I can't deal with this. but then continue to deal with it every single day. No, in my case, it was like, cut. Okay. As soon as someone showed me signs of things that I would not tolerate, I would analyze the situation. I'd be like, okay, what is the proof of this? Am I making this up? No, because I'm not an idiot and I'm a fucking detective and I figure everything out. And literally, okay, so this is no longer a match to me. So I don't ghost the person. I literally tell the person that, if something goes down, I'm like, look, I just really don't think this is aligned to what I'm looking for. I appreciate your time. Because chances are, anyone that I'm actually going to start like texting with or something, I've exchanged quite a few messages with. And I'm trying to get to know them. I'm trying to understand them. And so I just tell them because I have human decency. I'm a kind person. I'm a considerate person. And I'm an honest person. And I feel that that's important. So I really started to identify and see that because I was constantly allowing these men to do these things, these dumb, stupid things, ignore me when they want to, write me when they want to, hang out with me when was convenient for them. And that's not the type of person I want to be with. That's not the type of person I want to attract. I want to attract someone that is actually wanting to, one, understand the things that I value. That's wanting to, put in the same energy that I'm putting in. It's just going to happen. Like, we don't even need to talk about putting in the energy. It just happens. So maybe you're sitting, listening, or standing, or walking, or driving, whatever you're doing right now, listening to this right now, and you're like, damn, what am I tolerating? Oh my God, she said so many things that I'm dealing with right now. Maybe if you are, dating online or not, maybe even just in your relationship, not only love, like with friends, with family, that you might be tolerating. So what do you start to do? Like, how can you start to figure out what it is you're really tolerating? And how can you start to move through that? Well, firstly, start thinking about what you value. Because especially as it comes to relationships, you want to be with someone that has common values. You do not need to all value the same thing, but there has to be some underlying commonalities. And on top of that, it's like not about having exactly the same values. It's about knowing that your partner as well respects what you value while you also respect what they value. You don't need to have it as a value of yours. For example, I value communication, punctuality, things like this, okay? Open-mindedness. I value personal growth. So when it comes to communication, I also value consistency. So when it comes to communication, you can tell, especially in the dating world, you can see right away how people's communication styles. And because I myself do have an open mind, I can see different perspectives. I can understand that an individual may not be as responsive as I am. Anyone that knows me knows I am probably one of the most responsive people. I cannot stand having notifications on my phone, like unread. Like if a notification pops up, I turn my phone on do not disturb when I need to get work done like this right now, because, I'm a very responsive person. But I understand not everyone's like that. But it's important for you to really think about what are things that you value. Because this is where, when you're in a relationship with someone or trying to build a relationship with someone, you may see that there's areas that, are misaligned or just, are different. And you may feel really unhappy about something. And that could be because it's going against what you really value. And this is going to happen in life. We tolerate quite a few things in life. Like we really, really do. And I'm just trying to help you see here that if you're not as happy as you wish you were or could be, if you're feeling like something in your life isn't quite right, something is missing, maybe you just feel like you're in a constant shitstorm and it's very chaotic, you might be feeling this way. You might be feeling like you've lost a lot of control. And that, I encourage you, firstly, know that you're the one that controls your life. You're the one that controls it, and it all starts in your mind. It absolutely does. And the more you can start to identify areas in your life that you're tolerating things that are making you really unhappy, firstly, awareness is the greatest agent for change. So you can't change anything if you're not aware of it. Just like I was telling you in my example with my new zero tolerance policy. Seriously, it took me a couple weeks back of online dating to do a little bit of a step back and assess, wait a second. Oh my God, like, why are these guys being like this? Like, these guys are just not having some basic human decency. And why am I allowing this? So remember here, you have a choice and you have a say in what you're allowing to happen and what you're willing and allowing to tolerate. So when you identify your values, so, what do you value? What is it? What's important to you? Then you can start to see almost like key performance indicators here, like success criteria. You can start to see, are your values being met? And of course, if you're tolerating something, well, one, it's not aligning to your value, or maybe one of your values is not being met. And the thing is, far too often, you just, believe this is what life is. Like, this is how it's got to be. But it doesn't need to be this way. It doesn't. And just like I did, you have the power to start putting your foot down, to start realizing what you're truly worthy of. And I think something else that really comes to mind, and what I see so often with clients, I see this with, friends, where there's almost like, when it comes to dating and relationships, it's almost like you've got a fear of being alone. So you'd rather be in a relationship and tolerate all the bullshit than be by yourself. And this is tough because, yeah, of course, there are times things can feel lonely. There are times life can be lonely when you don't have a partner and you feel like when you're scrolling your social media, you're walking outside, everyone else you see seems to be in a relationship, whether they're happy or not, but you're seeing that. But the thing is, you need to find, your own fulfillment with yourself. I love hanging out with myself because I'm in my own energy and no one can mess with that. And I can tell you, this past weekend, when, a communication between someone I was, speaking to off the apps, been on a few dates with, it was like conversation got twisted. basically I got just dismissed, like, have a great day. Like, okay, whatever. Forget I said anything. Have a great day. And I'm like, whoa, like I do not do well with passive aggressive shit. Like, it's not my style. I'm like, firstly, you're making a lot of assumptions on how I'm feeling right now, which I haven't validated or said. Two, you don't even want to have a basic conversation when I say, like, okay, whoa, like, whoa, I think we could maybe talk about this. There seems to be like maybe a miscommunication, and then just like dismiss, like, whatever. And it's these sort of things and situations that I'm like, took a step back and I said, okay, the universe is sending me a message right now. I wasn't sure of this one. I wasn't sure. There were things that were great and there were things I was questioning. The universe just slapped me in the face. She was like, hello, wake up. I'm showing you this person is not a match to you. So to all you single folk listening right now that are dating, listen to these signs, okay? Listen, watch them, see them, and don't fall back into these traps that, we basically set for ourselves. You are the only person, you right now are the only person that knows what you're willing to tolerate, right? That knows what even bothers you. And it's your job to speak that, to say that. If something is not aligned to you, speak up. Because the more you share what it is you want, the more the universe is going to give it back to you. So whatever type of person, whatever it is that you want in life, speak it, say it, write it down. Write it down. So here, every single episode, you know what's up. I want you to grab a pen and paper. I want you to open notes on your phone. And I want you, or listen through, come back and do this activity after. I want you to take a look right now in your life. Think about your current situation. Write down 1 to 3 things that you are tolerating. These are things that you don't like. Like, you're like, no, I don't like that this person is always late. I don't like that I'm not getting this type of response. I don't like that I continuously let this person back in my life. Whatever it is, I want you to write down 3 things that you are tolerating right now. And then what I want you to do for each one is write down how you can create your new zero tolerance policy and how you're going to do better moving forward so that you're not feeling like you're freaking tolerating this shit. Because you deserve amazing things. You deserve everything that you want. You are worth what you want. So stop telling the world and telling the higher power universe that you're willing to take that. Whatever it's throwing at you, this crap it's throwing at you, push that away. You're better than that. So again, this is what you're doing. You're writing down 1 to 3 things that you're tolerating right now. Number 1, that's step 1. Step 2, you are creating your no tolerance policy and you are setting your ground rules. You are literally like, no. Okay, so I'll give an example. Something that I tolerate or have tolerated in my past, people showing up late. I mean, you might be like, Jane, it's inevitable. Okay, sure, it's inevitable. However, what is in my control is to communicate that if we are setting a time to meet up, and if the person shows up late or prior to even us setting this event, it's important for me to communicate that time is important to me, that I appreciate when someone's on time. And if you're going to be late, please communicate. Because there is nothing worse than sitting, waiting Whether you're waiting for a text, waiting for a phone call, waiting to meet up with someone, whatever it is, there's nothing worse as a punctual person than sitting, waiting, feeling like your time is being disrespected. And a basic text message can go a long way. So this is a way in which I personally navigate my desire for punctual people and my, zero tolerance for being late. It's fine. Things happen. Traffic happens. Toronto's a crazy city. Anything can happen. Some people have poor time management. That's out of my control, but I can definitely control what I communicate to the person so that they know. I might let it slide once if they're late. Second time, if they haven't communicated, no dice. See ya. Don't have time for that shit, because if they do it, it's going to keep happening and keep happening and keep happening. So today, I'm just so happy that you listened to this, and I'm hoping you're taking away a little tidbit of information, a little bit of guidance on how what's happening around you right now may be the result of all the shit that you're tolerating. And right now that you have the power to change this. Create your zero tolerance policy. And hey, share it with me. I would love to know what it is that you are no longer willing to tolerate. I cannot wait to hear.